Well, hello, everybody. You already know what time it is. It's time for the purpose conversation. I am Juva Alexander, the host of this oh so amazing live podcast. And I am here live and direct with some beauties, as you see. First of all, let me say hello to everybody. Thank you for checking in and checking us out here at the Purpose Conversation. I greatly appreciate you. And anyway, I also want to say Happy Mother's Day to all of the mamas, your mama, his mama, her mama, all of the moms. We greatly appreciate you. And when I say we, you are looking at legacy. What you're seeing right now is a representation of every mother represented out here for so many of us. But each of these four women, they are absolutely instrumental and inspirational and important to me. Why? Because they are none other than my actual mom. You might see her kind of popping in and out of the stream because she's in an area where there seems to be a whole bunch of thundering and lightning right now. But anyway, my mom, Annie, is on this live purpose conversation with us tonight. And also, I call them my mom teas or my aunties because each one of them have mothered me in some sort of way, have been a mother figure, mother like, and we're going to dig all into it. But I also have my aunt. I have my aunt Emma, aka Blackie. You see her there in the stream. You also have there's my mom. You see my mom Annie down there in the stream with the little silver balloons. She's popping in and out, but that's my mama, y'all. That's my mama. And next to me, I guess depending on how you're seeing this, you see my aunt Peaches, aka Linda, that's listed there, but that's my aunt Peaches. And then next to her is the baby of the bunch, my auntie, my momty. She might be closer to my age, so she's almost like a sister, but she's an auntie. But we have my aunt Duke, also known as Ruby. And so, anyway, I thank each and every one of you for jumping in on this podcast with me tonight to talk purpose, to talk motherhood, and to have a little bit of fun, have share some wisdom and sound advice in all things mother and all things purpose. And I just want to tell you, thank you for coming. Now, what I'm going to do next, I'm going to go ahead and ask each and every one of you, as we're going to kind of go around the table, if you're able to. Like I said, I see my mom is popping in and out. But what we may need to do, I may need to get her to call us on the phone so that we can actually hear her if that's the case. And but anyway, I'd love to be able to keep my mom in the stream. But we'll start off with, first of all, one of the questions that I always ask here on the purpose conversation. I always ask each person, what does purpose mean to them? And the reason why I ask this is because all of my purpose friends, they all know that, hey, we could talk purpose all day. We could talk purpose all day, but the goal is to not just talk purpose, but to show people what purpose looks like, because I believe that everything that we experience in life, it has a purpose. And so I want people to understand that they may not necessarily be alone, or either they have had, they may have experienced something that we have, or they're going through what have you. There's always a purpose connected to it. So my question to each of you, and you can just kind of go chime in wherever you feel like it. Um, what does purpose mean to you? And it looks like we might have had my mom to drop, but she'll be back on. But let me ask. Let's see here. Let's see if we can get her back in. Okay, Mama, you are back on. Yay!
Mhm.
Okay, Mom, I'm going to have this first question to go to you. All right. So, My question is, and you to watch every purpose conversation there is, so you already know that I'm going to ask, what does purpose look like? What does purpose mean to you?
Okay. This means
Yeah, just what does it mean to you?
Okay, she stole this. Go ahead, Blanche.
it's I'm living my purpose now. My purpose is just to live each day to its fullest, live in peace, be around no negativity, and just enjoying life
Okay.
and doing others as much as I can for my children, and anyone else. I've always been a caregiver, so it's about caring for other people and doing for other people as well, and not expecting anything in return.
That's beautiful. And you are definitely a giver. And I think it exudes in absolutely everything that you do. And it's always been like that my entire life. What about you, Emma? What does purpose look like to you? What does it mean to you?
Purpose to me at 73 years old right now is living my best life and to be a part of my children, grandchildren, and I have my first great on the way. To be
Oh,
here to set an example, let them know what life is all about, where I've been, where the roads I have traveled, which was some of them was good, some of them was bad, and try to help them to avoid the bad things that is out here in this world. As I tell them, I am the matriarch of my family, which I am, and that to me is a part of leading them, the pack, as they want to call it. And as they say, I am the old lady, but this old lady got a lot of teaching still left.
that's
All
right.
right.
And I love that you mentioned that you are the matriarch of your family because you are the matriarch of your family, but you are also the matriarch sitting right here amongst us right at
Yes,
this very moment. And
yes,
and girl, you look good for
of
73.
my siblings. I am the oldest living siblings, and these are my sisters.
That's
And
right.
so they still listen to me sometime, but that's all right. Ain't that right, Miss Annie?
That's right. You got that by 11 months. And
Yep, that's true.
That's right. So that they would call you two, what is it? The Irish
I,
twins. That's what they would call you two. Um, and let's circle to Aunt Peaches. Aunt Peaches, what does purpose look like to you? And especially in this season, what does it look like to you?
Purpose to me is showing love,
I can hear.
being there for my family, me, dating for, and also just for the people, it's friend. And it's very important to have friends in your life because we all need them. Few friends. But when I look at purpose, I'm looking at this stage of my life about just taking one day at a time and also making sure the foundation that I built for my daughter is
Hmm.
solid. And that at this stage, I know if anything happened to me or to her father, we know and I know that she can survive out here. So that's what purpose means to me. It's in also giving. You to be able to give yourself and your time to others because everybody needs somebody. You never know who you may to reach. Sometimes just with a smile on your face or telling somebody if you buy them that they look nice. I like that dress you have on. Because you never know what a person is going through. So it's just showing that love and that fellowship and that friendship to others.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. And you tapped in a little bit to legacy, and I want us to dig into that. But I really love your definition of purpose and what it looks like to you and in this season. And now to the baby of the sisters, my Aunt Duke.
Yeah.
Aunt Duke, what does purpose look like to you right now? What does purpose look like and what does it mean to you?
Well, I can't hear you, but to me, I can't see purpose. But to me, purpose is to continue to be the person that I am, a beautiful person, a good person,
That's right.
being the best that you can be. Continue to be the best that you can be amongst us all and amongst everybody. That's what purpose is to me. You can go on. I'm done.
I absolutely love that. I absolutely love that.
Real short.
Okay, so we talked about we talked about what purpose means to you. And because we're talking about motherhood and and this is the Mother's Day edition, um there was something that you all did, and this is one of the reasons why I said that I wanted us to be able um to have this purpose conversation. When I was talking to my mom, this was only a couple weeks back. I started season 4 of the purpose conversation. And so I told her that I would love for us to be able to talk, and and she was like, "Well, you gonna get what you asked for." And I told her I don't care, but it's something. It's important to me. There was something that you all did when I was growing up, and it has impacted me in a way that I don't know if you all realize it, but you led by example. One of the things that you all did was show me that family was important and that we are always to take care of one another. And I can remember even as a little girl being able to know that, hey, um my aunts always had my back, whether I spent the summer at your house or whether I lived with you or what have you. Y'all always took care of one another. You always took care of all of the kids. And I look at my children now and I look at, them and their cousins, and we're always talking about, oh, I know I used to talk to my cousins all the time about how how we grew up. It was almost as if we were siblings. And that's only because of the way that y'all reared us and because we always took care of one another. So my question is, because you always created that for me, it was always like a safe space. Can you tell me that what was something in your in as a mom, what was it that you think kind of shaped who you are as a mom? And and I know that I wasn't delusional when I said that, hey, I saw how you all took care of each other. And I know that we all didn't have a whole lot and things like that, but everybody always took care of one another. What was it about motherhood that made you kind of like that? I mean, because I know me and my cousins, we were out riding bikes, we were out hanging out, we were always just together. And what created that in y'all that y'all would take on mothering each other's children at one point in time? What made y'all, how did that come about? Am I making sense?
Yeah. Make-
Yeah, you're
Well,
And
the
making
way I
whoever
sense.
wants to go first.
It started. We
the
have
way
to.
I
It,
Lord
it
Jesus.
has to go. Go ahead, Annabelle.
No, you go right ahead.
Mama, you the oldest, go ahead.
I'm, no, I was just that
Annie B
it's
is
instilled in us to
not the oldest. I'm the oldest.
That's right. I'm sorry. You the oldest. You want to
Lord,
go first, Anil?
That's all right. That's all right. Let Miss Annie go ahead.
Okay,
let her
Mama.
let your old lady go.
I got your old lady, and I know you want to see
Go
it.
ahead, Emma.
But anyway,
Oh, don't you start.
Lord.
no, growing up, I've always felt by me being the oldest daughter, making sure all my sisters and my two brothers, we had basically the essential things that we needed, which wasn't much. But my job as the oldest was to look out for them, make sure their hair was combed, their clothes was clean, we was all lined up for school. To me, that's where my mothering came in. Always cooking, even though it wasn't what we wanted, but we had something to eat. And it started in that way. Motherhood, it just was a part of life. It was just a part of dealing with the situation that was in front of you. And it grew from there, from my siblings to my children and to my grandchildren. That's where it starts, from your roots, from the way I was raised and was taught, with my siblings. Now, Miss Annie.
Yes, Mama.
Okay. For me, it started as what and watching Mama how she took care of us. She took care of
Right.
7 babies, basically by herself off and on. Daddy wasn't there. She taught us to be go to church. She taught us to say our prayer. Taught us. She gave us what we wasn't able to get and didn't realize
Mm,
how hard it was for her to make it. And just watching her grow as a young woman into an old woman. And we never fought because she didn't put up with that. We didn't argue, and she didn't spare the rod. And so we learned to love each other because that was who we were, and that was
mm.
all each other. And she didn't believe in telling lies, and that's basically it. And so I try to some of the things that mom did instilled in me to instill into my daughters, and not to be a statistic. That's the main thing. We don't want to follow bad habits and grow from there.
That's really good, and I love that we're mentioning uh, had a baby, and I'm seeing now that she was one of the ones that kind of set the standard there. Um, it looks like Unpeaches. I see that. Are you okay with your technical? It looks like you were kind of flickering in and out.
Oh no, no,
Okay,
I'm fine. It's fine.
all
Well,
right.
Juva, one thing
Uh-huh.
I want to say, the rod was spared for one person, Miss Duke,
Yeah, do.
Was she
because
the
she
Yeah.
was
baby?
the baby. She was the
She was
baby,
the
so the
baby.
rod got spared with her.
Well, it should have.
Yeah.
She was the baby.
What you got to say
Peaches, you
about
want? Well, I'm not sure. It looks like Peaches is
We
blacked
no,
out again.
we
I don't
wouldn't.
know. Okay,
None
all
of
right.
us. None of
But you
us
want
would
to
be
answer?
who we are today if it wasn't for Mama. As they called her, we always said Mama, but as Blackie had Pay called her had a baby, so we all generate to had a baby. But when we look back on, like Annie said, Mama only had a third grade education, but she was a smart woman. Uh, so she made all of our clothes when we were small. Every outfit we had, she made, and she's back then she sewed by hand. But she also taught us, like I say, by being 7 5 girls, 2 boys. She taught us that we had to love each other no matter what. We were there to protect each other. He broke us up. The three oldest, which was my brother Pancho, Lockett, and B, they had to pick between good ones as who they was going to take care of, which means Blackie, of course, took my brother John and Louis. Pancho took Head, and Anna B, she took Duke, but I was left out, so she pulled me along. So that's how it started with all of us. We saw how our
You
older siblings took care of us. They bought our clothes for us for school. They made sure we was properly taken care of regardless to what the situation. So again, everything starts with that foundation that mama built. Like I said, she had us in church. Um, and one thing she said out of all seven of her kids, no matter what, she wanted seven diplomas. And she got
mm,
seven diplomas. So I admired my mother. I told her things that I didn't know. I'll go to her and she would break it down and explain, even though
what
I took it in
happened?
school, but there were certain things that you
Okay.
forget.
Are y'all still?
Yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah. hmm
I'm not
So
sure what's going
that's
on.
where. Oh,
Okay.
can you guys hear me, Anna B. Blanket? Do
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
can
It
you hear
looks like
me?
we might have had
Oh,
a
okay.
little glitch or something. I'm not sure if it was on my end.
Okay. So Mama showed all of us what it's like being a mother, what it's like taking care of your siblings. And again, like B said, she did not spare us. When you got in trouble, if someone had said you said something, you did something, she did not take our word for it. She took an adult word for it. No matter where you go, if you catch the bus and you're on that bus acting up, first thing they say is you had a maid's child? And we say, yeah. By the time we got home, Miss Hattie knew what was going on and we got in trouble. So I thank her for that because again, it made me who I am today. Without my mom, I don't know who I would have been. And she pointed each one of us in the direction for us to go. So that's what being a mother is all about. I try to instill those same values that she taught us to love yourself one first before you can love anyone else. Well, that's basically it with my momhood. And again, my two oldest sister, they did a great job taking care of us.
I love that. What about you, Undo?
Oop, what happened?
Undo, can you hear us?
She just went out.
Yeah, it looks like maybe a little bit of a technical glitch there.
Mm-hmm.
I can hear you.
Okay, now we can hear you.
Yeah. Okay. Who, me?
Yeah. Uh-huh. Go ahead.
Okay. I really can't hear. I can't hear you all. But
She
all I
glitched out
know,
again.
only thing I can say upon that, what you all was talking about, the rod was spared on me. So, like she said, Mama didn't spare the rod; it was spared upon me. Never, ever had a rod on me. So, what it feels like for that rod to be on me.
That don't mean you was a good. That don't mean you was good
That's
all the time.
all right.
Okay.
Well,
I was the
and I
best
think that's
child and
that's
still
probably
the best.
Thank you.
because you were the baby.
I don't think that's
That's
funny.
that's no, that's the beauty of being the
I think that's
baby.
probably because you were the baby.
No,
As you
no,
said, you got
those are the babies I learned from them. They never took.
Oh goodness.
Yeah, I saw them. So, you're not gonna do it being the youngest. So you don't want that rod. So it's best to be the good child. Still is the good child, right, baby?
Let me
Okay.
ask
Next question,
let,
Jubal.
let me ask y'all something. Amongst the four of you, and even your siblings that are not that are no longer here, who do you think in your sibling group who was like the disciplinarian? Because I know you all seem to have mothered one another at some point in time. Who was like the disciplinarian of the group?
We don't have to ask that. They know who it is.
Honever, were you the disciplinarian?
Yeah. I think I whooped
what
everybody. I
because
didn't whoop
teach
Anna B. I didn't. I
your
didn't.
teachers.
I didn't really. I didn't really have to whoop or hit on none of my sisters. I just cussed him out a little bit, said a few words to him that wasn't nice, but hell, it worked.
I guess so. I guess so. Oh goodness. And I want to let all of our purpose friends, people that are watching us, because I do see that we have some people that are viewing from YouTube. Feel free to leave comments or ask your questions, and we'll come and we'll make sure that we answer them. And but I just wanted to make sure that I plug that in, and y'all can say hello to my mom, and say hello to my momties, my aunties, and ask any questions, and we'll be happy to answer them. Okay, I want to ask you now, how does it feel now looking at the women, your daughters, and your nieces have become? And do you see yourself in them? Or do you see where you've instilled purpose?
Okay, you went
Because
out
every
and
last
out
one
on
of
the
you have
question. Say,
daughters and y'all have nieces.
Well, for me, I say to myself, job well done. Very proud of both of my daughters. And yes, I can see a lot of my instillment in them. And I'm proud. Yeah.
I love that.
Move down so I can tell the truth. I only have one daughter. She's my baby, and she was spoiled, and she's still spoiled. And but she's a good daughter, and she's a mother now. So I guess some of the things that I taught her, she's trying
Who
to
do I
teach.
can talk about?
Don, I ain't got but one daughter. Don, can you
Okay,
hear
I
me,
couldn't
dude?
hear.
Yes. Uh-huh.
I
Yeah,
can't
and like
hear
I
the
said,
conversation. I don't know what the conversation was about.
about our daughters. And like I said, I just have just that one, and she's a good daughter.
Okay.
She's have a daughter of her own now, and so she see and realize the thing as a mother. I would try to tell her there is nothing a mother would not do for her child, whether it's a boy or a girl, and a mother will not steer you wrong. If you really love your child, what they need to understand, you're not going to tell your child something that's going to hurt them. That's not a mother's purpose. A mother's purpose is to protect, to love and protect. And so
Yes.
hopefully she'll carry that on to her daughter.
I
Okay,
like
that's it.
that. I like that. What about you on Peaches?
I have just one daughter, and I always tell her she's my favorite daughter
That's
because
right.
she's my only daughter. Her late in life, yes, I had her late in life. I had her at 42, so she's 27 now, and she's really never getting in trouble. She's working. She's doing good. We're very proud of her. We taught her early because you, like I said, you had to set the foundation for her early. So we taught her early to learn to do multiple things because this work, if you learn how to just do one thing, it was something that mom used to always say, you might have put red if you only got one hole to crawl in, because if they close that hole up, you're lost. So I taught her early to put her in so many different activities to keep her busy when she was young, so that when she got older, she's able to work with all those different activities that she's been in. So whether it is learning to play the keyboard, she learned to dance, she does modeling, and right now she's in the medical field working in the cardiologist department. So she's doing good and she's still going to school. So again, that foundation that I started from the beginning with her, now she has grown into it. So now that, like I told her earlier in life, if one door is closed, you have another avenue that you can go to because you learn how to do multiple things. And I think that's the key for any kids coming up today. You need to teach them early to be able to do more than just one thing. Because if you, let's say you do one thing, doing one job. Back in the with some work that way. So you stuck in one job, you get off, you're lost. So I say you always have, most people say you got to have a plan B, but I say to her, you need a plan A, B, C, D, and E, because that is going to take you to survive in this world and to succeed in this world. So again, I'm very proud of her. Um, and again, she's my favorite daughter.
Oh, I love that. And Undo, you have just one daughter too, of uh my cousin Soretta. So the question is,
Yes.
can you hear Undo? Undo, are you able to hear? Undo. Okay.
It's
So
breaking up.
okay.
It's breaking up.
So my question was is that
I can't hear.
how does it feel now looking at yeah, so my question was how does it feel looking at your daughter and your nieces? Can you see yourself in them and where you might have instilled purpose inside of them in your daughters or your nieces or both?
No,
And can you
well,
see yourself?
actually, Juvenile, no, I don't see my name there better than I am. They're more gracious than I am. So I think they come from the other side, not just Arnold side. The Arnold women's is something else.
What she say?
Look, all jokes aside.
No,
Reddit,
I
my
didn't hear
daughter is
what
a
you said.
beautiful. Uh
What is she saying?
huh.
What'd you say?
I have a beautiful daughter. Have a beautiful heart, caring, giving. I just said, rather, she's a beautiful person, beautiful soul. She's nothing like me. Nothing like me.
You are a beautiful
I
soul.
got mine from the Arnolds.
Oh goodness.
Yep. I got mine's from the Arnolds. She got hers from the other side because she's a beautiful person.
Saying,
Beautiful
Oh
attitude.
goodness.
Duke, you
Now
don't
I
think
know
you
that
have a beautiful attitude?
I
Duke.
I think you
So I
had to
can't.
instill something in her. I know that you did.
I instilled her looks. She got her looks from me, but she didn't get her attitude from me.
Okay. Okay. Well, I
She
guess
didn't get her attitude from me.
I'm go-
She didn't get to from me.
Ju-
I got you.
I
Juva,
can't really hear
can I say
you.
something?
Yes.
Huh?
Can I say something, Juva?
I can't hear
Yes.
now.
When I look at you and your career that with your podcast and your writing and your editing and all that you've done and the books that you've written, when I look at you, the first person come to my mind in our family is my sister, with his name after mom. I had it because Head was like very smart and real intelligent in school, and Head also was an underwriter. She was the publisher of her. She was the editor of the newspaper in high school. When we was in high school, she's a year behind me, but her senior year she was the editor of the newspaper. So when I look at you and what you doing, it always make me think about Head. How she was very successful in writing, just like
Call
you.
her Hattie. Don't call her head.
Had okay,
Huh?
Hattie.
Yeah. Don't call her
And
head.
and
Duke
and
was
you know,
saying for me
you
to call her Hattie and not Hattie.
Well, we all had nicknames back then. In the South, you had nicknames.
yeah, let's talk
How I
about the
got, they call me,
nicknames.
yeah, my nickname is Blackie.
Yeah, we
I
all
had
had
my
nicknames, but she
oldest
didn't
bro.
like that name.
Well, my oldest brother
Yeah.
name, his name was Pancho. Uh, Duke, her name is Ruby. Peaches.
Yeah, but again, she didn't like the name head.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
she
didn't know
didn't
that.
like it, but I want to know. Okay, everybody. This is what I always wanted to know. Everybody had a nickname except my mom and Uncle John Lewis.
John
So,
Lewis got his
what's the
nicknames
history
later.
behind that? What's the history behind all the nicknames?
Well, the only Annie B had a
Well, I
nickname
mean, I've
later
always
on, and
known him as Uncle John Lewis.
only Mama called her that. Mama called her BB.
because there's probably so many of us, they just threw names out there.
What you said, Jilva?
So, was it Had a Baby that generated all the nicknames?
Well, we don't. I don't
Say that
really know. I
again.
think it was my mama and my daddy.
No,
You
mine from
know,
my dad.
yeah, cause
I started
my
at Sean
daddy.
Bagel.
What you say, dude?
Excuse me?
I can't hear what she said.
I, I can't hear
Yeah,
you,
I don't
Blackie.
know. It seemed like maybe there's a little bit of inter- interference there. But I want to circle back real quick something that you said, Peaches. Um Speaking of Hattie or Unhead as caller, and I know later you didn't call that, and I'd like to make sure that I respect that. But one thing that you said about her, and you saw similarities between me and her when it came to writing, different things like that. And one thing that I can say is that not I don't know if you are aware, but that talent or that gift that she has, I actually see that in her daughters, especially Brandy is an
Oh
absolutely
yes,
amazing writer. She's a
yes.
writer of poetry and just absolutely brilliant writer. So I appreciate you saying that and seeing that, and I did not know that she worked in publications, and my son is actually in publications. As a matter of fact, he's in graduate school, and that's what he's doing. But I also wanted to let you all know that we have D. Ingram in the chat, and he says right here, "Hey, Aunt Peaches, Aunt Duke, Aunt Annie B, hey, Grandma Emma." So hey, and then you didn't say hey to me. But let's say hey there to D. He's chiming in on YouTube and watching us. So glad. Thank
Hey,
you very
D.
much for chiming in.
Uh,
But I wanted to answer the
Hey,
question too, as it
hey,
relates
D.
to. I wanted to answer this question too because I think it's important. Um, when I look at my daughters, and I have three of them, and all three are very amazing women, and yet they're all different all at the same time. And I know that I have instilled purpose inside of them. One of the main things that I try to teach them, Peach, is kind of similar to you saying that you need to do multiple things, but more than anything for them, I like for them to know that, hey, I want you to do what's in your heart. Do that thing that you're gifted in. Do that thing that you want, that you could probably do for free. I want you to tap into what it is that you've been put here on assignment to do. Nobody else is like you. You are your own individual person. I want them to grow from their experiences. I want them to be able to take a look at other people and grow and learn and from them and from their wisdom and from their counsel that they've been given. But when I see them, I see three different women, but I also see a little piece of something from myself, and I'm very proud of each one of them. And of course, when I look at my nieces, I have lots of nieces because I'd say both my family, all of us, my family, my nieces, but also because I married into a very large family where I have lots and lots of nieces. And I always make it a point that I pour into them. I pour into my daughters. I pour into my nieces, and I I'm very proud of watching them grow up and seeing them succeed. And even when it seems as if they are falling, being able to be there to kind of push them along and to encourage them. Um, but yeah, I wanted to make sure that I answered that question as well. And speaking of nieces, I think I see one of mine here on the chat here in YouTube. It looks like, is that Jorian that's here? It looks like that's Jory, which is my niece. And Jory, she's just sending kisses. Dawn is in the building here on YouTube, and she's sending hearts and kisses. And I think that's because they're hearing us talk about um, all of our daughters and our nieces. Wrap it back up. Go back and talk about motherhood for just a moment. What is one of just one? What is one of the greatest lessons you learned, either being mothered, or one of the greatest lessons you learned mothering your children, grandchildren, etc.? So, so what is it that you learned being mothered by your mom, or what is one of the greatest lessons you learned as being a mom? And anybody
You
can
want me to
go.
go? Okay. One of the
Yes.
great lessons that I learned and tried to teach is discipline and respect. Young people, children, young and old, young teenagers, they're very disrespectful, and it's, to me, that's very important to teach respect. Teach children right from wrong. You can train a damn puppy. So if you can train a puppy right from wrong and to do right, you can train a child and to just have
Yes.
respect for yourself and for others around you. To me, that's very important. Respect others will go a long way. Okay.
Oh, that's good.
Peaches,
That's
Annie,
good.
Blue.
Having patience,
Well, I didn't
making
quite hear the question, what you actually said.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Peaches. Mama, what were you saying? I think y'all might have crossed each other real quick. Mom, you said something
go ahead.
about patience.
Mhm.
Yeah, I was saying being patient, making sacrifices, caring for others, um, giving.
That was okay. And what about you on Peaches? What was one of the lessons that you learned, greatest lessons you learned, either mothering or being mothered?
Um, just one of the, just being able to love someone unconditionally. You have a, people have a tendency of when someone is disabled, kind of shy away from them. But if you show them love, anyone else, they like anyone. So that's what I try to teach, and that's what my daughter has learned. Having a brother that's disabled is to learn two things that he taught us is was patience and how to love unconditionally. So that's what I believe in. You have to learn to treat everybody the right way. And no matter what the situation, just respect each other. Because every one of us are different. The four of us here are different. But we
Mm-hmm.
love each other. So the main focus is trying to respect, and that's what I try to me myself. I try to show love and respect to anyone that I come in contact with because I think it's important. You look out and just sometime if you got a friend, and that's what I try to teach. Let's you got friends, let them, especially if you got such, or I'll take you to the store. Those are little small things that we need to learn to do for each other because it just doesn't benefit them, but it benefit me just helping somebody. So I try to help whoever I can. And that's what I definitely instill in my daughter is to, no matter what, help somebody. Be there for somebody. Always make sure that somebody you got something to do, and not to sit there and wait for somebody to say, oh, I need this or I need that. Just sometimes just do it. Pick up, and sometimes just picking up the telephone and say, hey, how you doing? Or nowadays everybody like to text, because I love to send text to people, just emojis or whatever, saying how I love you, or send heart. Just little simple things that we can do, and we have to teach our kids the same thing. That's what you do. Just learn to love each other. Think of yourself, you know.
Mhm. And you know what? It's something that you would mention that that's one of the things that you teach Alexis, because that is the main thing that I guess I always remember my mother saying, um about, to me and my sister, is that she would always say, hey, no matter what, we love one another. We have to make sure we love one another, we take care of one another. And she always emphasizes about loving, and showing love, and making sure that that we love one another, and make sure that everybody knows it. So, and as a matter of fact, it looks like we have a couple of our purpose friends. And now, Duke, I'm going to come back to you, but I wanted to read a couple of messages because we have some people chiming in.
No, it's
Jorian says,
okay. It's okay.
she
Go
said,
you.
okay. Jorian says, learning from past mistakes, to not beat yourself up over them, but to push forward and do better. It's a learning experience for mothers and children together. Girl, I know that's right. That was very good. And B says that he has a question. So let's go ahead and let wait a minute. I'm gonna let you Duke, because D asked a question that's gonna kind of impact a way that is gonna set it goes into a different direction that I
Just I'm
wanted to
fine,
go
honestly,
into.
because
So thank you very much.
I'm fine. I'm fine. Go ahead on. I can't hear anyway.
No, I wanted to hear
Okay,
your
well,
answer, Miss
my question,
Ruby.
because I do all right, Unduke, I do want your answer on this one though, because I did ask, what is the greatest lesson that you learned, either being mothered by your mom, or what was the greatest lesson you learned as a mom?
Do?
I think okay. All right. Well, we're gonna go over here to D, because I'm not sure what may have happened. But D, he says, I have a question. Y'all y'all had wait a minute. I had a question. Y'all had a hand in raising Pepe. And of course, Pepe is my big cousin. And Pepe is Emma's oldest son. And so D says, and Pepe was D's dad. He says, I have a
Jill?
question. Y'all had a hand in raising Pepe. This new day and age, what tools or techniques would you use to make an impact on a child's life that will help guide them to their purpose? Oh, that is such a good question, Dee. And congratulations, because I know you're getting ready to be a dad. And so, yeah, each one of these women had a hand in there in helping to rear pay at some point in time within in his life, especially his mama, of course. But the question is, what tools or techniques would you use to make an impact on a child's life that would help guide them to their purpose? Now, y'all think about it. We're giving advice to a soon to be new dad.
Okay. Be
Well,
patient.
D know what I think. I think when they the advice I would give, what I did, you train them when they're young. The Bible says you teach your child, you teach a child and they'll learn, they will grow. You got, as a parent, you have to teach them. You teach them when they're real young. You don't wait till they're 13 and 14 years old to try to install things, good values in them. You teach them when they're real young. So you start off by teaching them right and wrong when they're real young. When they basically when they start talking and understanding. You don't wait late on in life. And you've got to be very disciplined so they will know that you are for real. You don't play with them when you've been serious. Teach them the right things. Okay,
That's good.
next. Who? Peaches, Andy
That's
B. Do?
good.
D thought I
I
was gonna
agree
say.
with you.
D
And
thought I was gonna say you need to tap that butt, but you do. It don't hurt. Go ahead, Peaches.
well, uh, with the,
Peaches,
let's
Andy B.
say,
or
with the,
Dukes. We waiting.
I was, you
Andy
can't
Keep
B.
hear me?
talking.
I was trying to talk Blackie. I was saying, well, I did help raise Paige to a certain point when he was, what, between 3 and 4. Um, and the day with the kids today, like I don't have any grandkids, but I would say to parents that, again, you have to spend quality time with your kids when they small, when they first born. You got to spend quality time with them. You got to take the time to read to them. Even when they're small, you say, what can you do with a 1 year old? But if you get books, just take the books, let them look at the pictures. But that's how you start. You got to spend quality time, take them places. And with the book, I believe in books, because with the book, if you give a child a book and they read those pictures, look at the pictures, because Alexis, when she was 3, she would have this one book which had drove me nuts constantly. All me to read a book, the same old book. So one day I said, look, read the book. I don't know how. I said, look at the pictures and tell me. By the time she was 4, she was reading. And what I told her, and that's when I put in a book club, because with reading, you can go all over the world and don't even have to
Mm-hmm.
leave out your room. So spend time with them when they're young. That's the most important thing, is quality time with your kids. Get them active. You got to be active. And it's hard sometimes, especially if there's a working parent. You come home, you're tired. But again, that's where you start. It starts there at the beginning. And continue to be active in their life, because it will play an important role. Because basically what we're doing with our kids, basically when you look at it from that standpoint, you're looking at investment. So say, I'm invest my time with my child. So my child grow up, I can reap of the investment that I put into my child. But you just can't start it and stop. Once you start, you got to keep it going. And that's the most important thing to me, is quality time with your kids. Makes a difference.
I like that. So uh I definitely agree that you know reading, yeah, I think we should definitely encourage our children to read. That's a really good tool. And uh Emma, you said to teach them right from wrong from the very beginning. And I have to chime in here for this one real quick too, because not only did you say teaching them right from wrong, and teaching them, and teach them to read early on, and getting them in a book. Let me tell you, D, and hey D, um, one of the things that I saw from my cousin, your dad, at a very early age. I want to say that we had to be. He was only a year older than me, but I want to say we might have been 7, 8, maybe. We were definitely younger than 10. But when we were living in Jacksonville, North Carolina, and shout out to all the people that are watching from Jacksonville, we were over in Holiday City. Shout out to those that may still be in Holiday City or from Holiday City. But we used to catch the church bus, and it used to take us to a church there in Jacksonville, North Carolina. And they used to give each of the children, we would run and catch that bus every Sunday. My mama and Aunt Emma made sure that we were getting up on that daggone church bus. We were gonna catch that bus and go to church. But the thing that always stood out, and I know that it guided your dad towards his purpose, and I know that it will guide your new one, your little one, to his or her purpose. You guys are having a little girl, right? Your daughter. But the one thing they gave us a Bible, and it wasn't like a children's Bible. I remember it was a red Bible, and it was a King James version, right? Every single night, every single night, I watched as Pay would pick up that Bible. He is the only person that I knew, especially as a little kid. He read that Bible from cover to cover. And every single night, he would read that Bible. He would read his word. And I remember just watching him read it, and he was so into it. I'm like, first of all, I tried to read the Bible, and I'm stuck on the thee, thous, and thus, and all this other stuff, and I couldn't understand how he would wrap his mind around it. But he would be diligent. Nobody forced him, nobody made him, but he would read the Bible. He would read the Bible. Fast forward many many years later, we are both adults with our spouses and our children, the works. And I remember I encountered a problem. I don't remember exactly what the problem was, but it was some problem. And I remember I contacted my cousin. We were texting back and forth, and I explained whatever was going on at the moment. I don't remember to this day exactly what the problem was, but I do know that he gave me the answer, and I remember the answer. And he just simply said, "Cuz you already know, he rewards those." And he was referring to scripture, and it made me think about how this man had been studying the word all of these years, reading the word, that it was just deep down in him. And when he was presented with a problem from someone else, he already knew exactly what to say that gave me comfort. So I would say one of the tools, definitely go in line with reading. Teach your children to read, because reading is important, and it will definitely push them to their purpose. And also, just as Emma said too, you train up that child, training them up, putting the word in them. And I mean, I believe that. I believe that. But that was one thing that stood to me. Now, I had no hand in raising him or rearing him, but he was my cousin, and he was like my brother. And I just that just came to my memory when you asked about that, and I was like, "Hey, this is something that I watched him do as a child and as a grown man, how it materialized into his purpose, part of his purpose, and he was able to impact my life, you know?" So, anyway, Aunt Duke, do you want to chime in on Dee's question um, that he had? And you need me to read
No,
it
I'm
again?
good. No, I'm good. I can hear
Oh
anyway. So
no. Okay.
no,
Okay.
I can't hear nor
So
I can't hear anything. It's
basically,
basically being
ba-
up. Yeah.
basically, he was asking, what tools would you give to someone, a younger person nowadays, that will help guide them to their purpose, because he said that we all had an impact in, raising Pay to a degree. And so he wanted to know what type of tools did we have in our belts.
Juva, y'all, you faded out. It's I can't hear you all.
Oh wow. Okay.
I can't
Well,
hear y'all.
we're going to
I can just hear, but I can hear you.
okay. Okay. Well, we'll come back, and it looks like it don't even seem like it's been an hour, but believe it or not, it's been almost an hour. Oh my gosh. Um, before we wrap this up, because I don't want to exceed an hour, I want to ask you all, what one piece of advice would you give to someone who is raising children or that's been mothered, and you have all types of mothers. You have mothers that are grieving mothers. You have people that are grieving their mother. I look at, here it is, it's Mother's Day, and my husband, his mother is no longer here, your mom is no longer here. What advice do you give to that grieving mom who is grieving, either grieving her mother who's no longer here, or she's grieving, unfortunately, her child who may not be here? What piece of what piece of advice can you give to them? Because I'll be honest, my husband was really sad today. It's Mother's Day, and although I'm the mother of his children, he was, he's, thinking about his own mom, and he couldn't give her flowers today. What advice do you give to that mom that's grieving and hurting on Mother's Day?
I would give
Well,
You
them.
I'm
want
gonna
to
say
talk to
I
They,
can
Peaches?
hear
Me, Peaches are
this,
good.
Jiva. The
We'll
only
we'll,
thing
we'll
Auntie?
I
start
would
with
give
Mama.
is faith.
Yes, we'll
All
start
it
with her.
takes
Mom,
is
huh?
a
go ahead.
right
Go ahead. My thoughts for a moment. That's okay.
Okay, all right.
Do?
Anima.
huh?
Well, if you really want to know the truth, I lost my son Pepe almost 3 years ago. And for me, I don't grieve for him for the simple reason I feel like Pepe is a part of me and he still lives with me and in me. His body is no longer here, but I don't grieve for him because my love for him is still with me. And to me, he is in me, with me every day. I don't see him every day, but his spirit is with me. So therefore, I don't grieve. Sit around grieving and this and that. He's still with me. He's still in my heart. He's a part of me. So therefore, I don't grieve for him because his body is no longer here, but his spirit is here. So therefore, as long as I have his spirit, that's all I need. So I don't grieve. That might sound weird to some, but that's just the way I feel. He's still here with me. So
Well,
I don't grieve for him. Huh?
I think that's
Hello?
beautiful that you're able. I think it's beautiful that you are able to to feel him. I think that's beautiful.
Yeah, I do. I see him
That's
every day. We talk about him. He's still alive. He's still with us. So if you love a person, he a part of your life. He's there within you, with you. So there's no need to grieve for them because you love them enough and they are still with you.
that's
That's how I
beautiful.
feel.
Does anybody else have any advice to a mom who may be grieving, or grieving her mom or grieving her child? Or what would you have to say to anybody that's in that place? Because like I said, my husband was sad today. you know
Jiva, what I would say is have faith. I've taught my grandbabies to have faith. All it takes is a grain of a mustard seed.
yeah,
Look and see how tiny that mustard seed is. All you need is faith. That's all I gotta say. Have faith.
I love that. Absolutely, absolutely.
Um, I look at it as this past January was 9 years from the death of my son. And for me, uh, um, it was hard. It was like my stomach, the off was just broken in pieces. And it took me a while. What I was that it just just affected me, it affected my daughter. I heard him. I had to be a husband by say, but we did everything for him. 5 months and 13 days. And we did everything for him. The only thing he could do was feed himself. But he was in a good day room during the day where I could work, husband would work. And what helped me, I had to go to a grief counselor. And going to a grief counselor, we realized that with the knowledge that we had. So I would say that some people may want to go to a grief counselor to get help, to get that point. But then now we look at it, all of us here, me and my husband, my daughter, what we do now is my son is here in our heart. We talk about him every day because his most important day was his birthday and Thanksgiving. He loved to eat. He was a Down syndrome. So anybody
He
know what
loved to
Down
eat.
syndrome? Down syndrome love to eat. And he loved to eat. He
He
loved
loved to eat.
Thanksgiving because we just let him eat. And but now it's like we all are at peace. But it goes back to praying and not just going to the grief counselor, but praying and asking God to give you that strength, to give you that comfort. And one day, no matter how you're grieving, one day, if you continue to ask God to give you that strength and to give you the comfort that you need, one day you will sit back. And when you think about one, you will smile. And sometimes you're going to have days where little tears roll down your eyes because you're thinking about them. And you can say, it's okay. It's okay to cry a little bit because those are tears of joy. So that's what I believe, because again, everybody grieves different. Some grieve, some, but if you're having a really hard time dealing with it, I always say find one thing that your loved one did to make you smile, that made you laugh. Just go all the way back. For us, we always say, Tay do like the moonwalk when he get all happy. He'll go pussing around. So you find that one thing that's gonna put a smile on your face and get you through it. Or I think about something that that person did that made you so mad, and you think about it at that point, you'll say, you know what? I got mad over something that really wasn't worth getting mad for. And just talk about it and talk about that your other to your family members. And I believe that would help get you to where you want to get to. That you will find that peace and comfort. But I do believe if you do that, one day you will find that comfort that you're looking for. But again, just pray on, ask God to give you that comfort.
Thank you. Thank you for that. And mom, circling back with you.
I'm I'm um I'm gonna pass that one on.
Okay. Okay.
Mhm.
All right. Well, we're going to we have reached a whole hour, and are there any shout outs, anything you want to say to anybody, any shout outs, anything that's going on with you? What do you want to leave with the Purpose Friends?
Thank everyone. Thank you, Diva. Happy Mother's Day to each and everyone. I love you guys, and you made my day. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Ma. You made mine
Hmm.
too. Thank you for your yes.
Yes.
All right. Aunt Emma, any final words, anything you want to say, any shout outs? What do you want to leave with my Purpose Friends?
Well, I enjoyed being spending time with my sisters. Got a chance
I
to
would
see
like
them
to
all, even though We were supposed to have a chance to get together this Mother's Day. So in reality, we did. Maybe not physically together, but we was able to see each other and to let each and every last one of them know that I do love them and it continue to enjoy life. Love your family and like we love each other. And happy Mother's Day, Peaches, Duke,
Oh,
and Annie B, and Juba. And to
thank you.
all your fans out there. And for D, rub little Emma for me. That's the new baby.
Aw, are they gonna name her Emma?
They might as well, because I'm gonna call her little Emma.
I love it.
Mhm.
Uh, Aunt Peaches, any last words you
Um,
want to leave with my purpose
uh,
friends?
yes. First, to you, I want to thank you for letting us get together for Mother's Day. And happy Mother's Day to
Mm,
you. I love you
thank you.
from my heart. To each of my sisters, I love each of you. You know that. And for all of my friends that I called up and asked to watch the show, to watch the podcast, I want to say thank you. And I want to say happy Mother's Day to all the mothers that's on here, whether they my friends or whoever, for every mother on here, happy Mother's Day. And I wish everyone a blessed evening. And thank you, Juba, from my heart.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you. Thank you for your yes. And Aunt Duke, wrap it up. Any last words you'll like to leave with my purpose friends? Any shout outs? Anything you want to say?
Only thing I want to say is I really appreciate you, Juva. At this time, we supposed to been down in Biloxi, ching chinging.
Uh-oh.
You right about that. Yes, indeed. Yeah. But we still got to see each other.
Thanks for having us on, Juva.
You're welcome. Well, to each and every one of you.
I know a lot of men on Miss Ann is because they
What?
What you say, dude?
all right.
What she say?
No, I said y'all know what the ching ching is.
Oh, we definitely know what
Oh
the ching
yeah.
ching
I
is.
say you and Annie B know what the ching ching
Yes,
Yes,
is.
we do.
indeed. We know what it is. Ching ching.
Okay, well, I'd like to first of all, I want to say happy Mother's Day again. And I want to thank you for taking the time to come in just to speak about motherhood and just to get together. It was so important for me to be able to have y'all here. And because to me this represents legacy, this represents so much. And I want to thank all of my little cousins that you should be like my nieces and my nephews and my actual niece for coming up and all everybody that's watching now live, everybody that's coming in on replay. I want to thank you for just coming in and just being here. And I hope that you got a nugget somewhere just by us sharing briefly here. And I want to thank you. And as always, as I wrap this up, I'm going to encourage each and every one of you. There's a purpose in motherhood. There's a purpose in whatever it is that you're doing. There's a purpose in your life. And I want to encourage you, as always, to seek, to discover, and to pursue your purpose on purpose. Thank you all for coming in. You've just watched and listened to the Purpose Conversation. Good night, everybody.
Right.
Good night. Bye.
Good
Bye.
night. Thank you.
Bye.
No, no.